There comes a moment in life that doesn't look dramatic from the outside. No arguments, no confrontation, no final speech. Just a quiet realization that something is costing you more than it's worth. Not money, not time, but peace. Most people think change begins with action. Stoicism teaches something colder and far more powerful. Change begins with removal, not loudly, not emotionally, and never with explanations. The most decisive moments in a man's life often happen in silence. When he stops answering certain messages, stops attending certain places, stops tolerating patterns that slowly erode his inner order. Nothing explodes, nothing collapses, but everything shifts. Because peace is not something you stumble upon by chance. It is something you protect deliberately by choosing what no longer deserves access to your life. Why elimination must be quiet? Most people believe that cutting something out of their life requires confrontation, a final conversation, an explanation that justifies their decision. Stoicism rejects this completely. What requires explanation still holds power over you. What needs permission is not truly yours. Quiet elimination is not weakness, it is self-command. When you argue, you invite resistance. When you announce, you invite opinions. When you explain, you reopen doors that should remain closed. The Stoic understands a deeper rule. Your life does not require consensus. Silence preserves dignity, distance preserves clarity, and restraint preserves peace. By removing things quietly, you deny chaos its favorite fuel, reaction. You don't punish, you don't correct, you simply withdraw access. And in that silence, your authority becomes undeniable. Thing 1. People who drain you but call it care. They check on you often. They talk about concern, loyalty, connection. But after every interaction, you feel heavier, not supported. This is not care, it is emotional extraction. These people don't ask how you are to understand you. They ask to unload, to soothe themselves, to feel needed. Your calm becomes their outlet. Your attention becomes their relief. Stoicism teaches a simple standard. If someone consistently leaves you depleted, the cost is too high. You're not obligated to carry emotional weight that is not yours, and you don't need to confront them to step away. The Stoic response is quiet. Shorter conversations, less access, more distance. Care that drains your peace is not care. It is a leak. Thing 2, the habit of explaining yourself. Explaining feels reasonable. It sounds mature. It looks polite. But when it becomes a habit, it reveals something else. Doubt. Every unnecessary explanation hands your authority to someone who did not earn it. You begin to argue for choices that were never open for debate. Over time, this trains others to question your decisions before you've even made them. The Stoics understood this danger. Epictetus warned that a man should not defend his philosophy with words, but with conduct. When your actions are aligned, explanation becomes excess noise. When your values are clear, justification becomes weakness. Quiet elimination here is internal. Stop narrating your life. Stop clarifying your boundaries. Say less. Do what is right. Let silence carry the weight of your certainty. Thing 3. Environments that keep you reactive. Not every threat comes in the form of a person. Some come as places, routines, and constant noise. Environments that keep you rushed, overstimulated, or emotionally charged slowly erode self-control. They train you to react instead of reflect, to respond impulsively instead of deliberately. Stoicism depends on clarity, and clarity cannot survive in chaos. If a place consistently pulls you into comparison, frustration, or agitation, it is not neutral. It is shaping you. Marcus Aurelius warned that the mind takes the shape of what it repeatedly consumes. A reactive environment creates a reactive man. Quiet elimination doesn't require dramatic exits. You arrive less, you stay shorter, you choose solitude over stimulation. When you remove chaos from your surroundings, discipline stops being difficult. Peace becomes your default. Thing 4. Relationships built on guilt. Guilt is one of the most effective tools of control. It doesn't raise its voice, it whispers obligation. You've changed. After everything I've done for you, you owe me. These phrases are not expressions of love. They are contracts designed to keep you small. Stoicism draws a clear line. Love does not require self-sacrifice without limit, and loyalty does not demand the abandonment of self-respect. When a relationship survives only because you feel guilty leaving it, the cost is already too high. Peace cannot grow where obligation replaces choice. Quiet elimination is essential here. No arguments, no defenses, no moral debates. You reduce access, you reclaim space, and you allow distance to do what confrontation never could. Restore your inner balance. Thing 5. The need to be liked. The need to be liked rarely announces itself. It hides behind politeness, behind flexibility, behind the habit of saying yes when you mean no. Over time, it shapes your decisions. You hesitate to disappoint. You soften truths. You stay longer than you should. Stoicism teaches emotional independence. A man who needs approval is never fully in control of himself. When your sense of worth depends on acceptance, peace becomes fragile. Every opinion gains influence. Every reaction feels personal. Quiet elimination begins internally. You stop adjusting your behavior to avoid discomfort. You choose alignment over applause. Not everyone will understand your silence. That is the point. When approval is no longer your currency, your actions become clean, your boundaries become firm, and peace stops being negotiable. Thing 6. Tolerance for repeated disrespect. Disrespect rarely appears as a single event. It reveals itself through patterns, the same boundary crossed again, the same dismissal disguised as humor, the same apology followed by the same behavior. Stoicism teaches that character is revealed through repetition, not words. An apology without change is not remorse. It is strategy. Many people stay because they hope for understanding. The Stoic stays observant instead. When disrespect becomes consistent, tolerance becomes self-betrayal. At that point, explanation only invites more of the same. Quiet elimination is the final step. You don't argue, you don't confront, you don't warn. You withdraw excess. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that no one can harm your inner order without permission. Removing repeated disrespect is how that permission is revoked. Calmly, completely, and without regret. Peace is not found, it is defended. Peace does not arrive by accident. It is not a reward for patience, and it is not something the world hands to you gently. Stoicism teaches a harder truth. Peace is maintained through discipline. You don't protect it by fixing people. You don't protect it by explaining yourself. You protect it by deciding what no longer deserves access to your time, your energy, or your inner world. Quiet elimination is not avoidance. It is clarity in action. You remove what disrupts your balance without resentment. You step away without announcements. You move forward without looking back for permission. This is not coldness. It is self-respect practiced consistently. When you defend your peace, your life becomes simpler. Your decisions become cleaner. And your presence becomes calm, grounded, and unshakable. The Stoic does not chase tranquility. He guards it, and that quiet discipline is where real strength is built.